At the end of the Hierarchy War, you sacrificed your priceless precursor vessel to demolish the enemy battle platform, the Sumatra. You escaped in a tiny pod ship, hoping to outrun the cataclysmic energies unleashed in the final explosion. But the massive energies unleashed in the cataclysmic maelstrom ripped a hole in time and pulled your escape pod into the near future. You witnessed a great battle at the galactic core. A vast armada of the galaxy's great sentient races stood poised against an unknown enemy as reality itself hovered on the brink of interdimensional collapse. You lost consciousness as you watched the sentient races die, screaming, their life energies sucked into the void. Your escape pod then hurtled back through time and space to your home quadrant. Back home, your allies celebrated your victory as reality continued to deteriorate. Suddenly, hyperspace travel stopped working. The only form of interstellar travel left was your newly built precursor vessel. You hastily formed a union between your old allies and the defeated hierarchy. Explorer groups warped toward the galactic core in search of a cure for a dying galaxy.
Hiya, Captain. Boy, are we glad to see you. Any problems getting here? We were starting to get a little worried. After all, we're stuck here on an unfamiliar planet, in an unknown quadrant, and can't even fly out of this system without you. You are our last, best, and only hope of survival. And not just our survival. But don't let that pressure you. We have... The first thing we need to do is find the other League races. They've been scattered all over the nearby systems by your precursor vessel's warp bubble transport. How can we help? The Earthling cruiser was built primarily for exploration, and not as a pitiless weapon of war. But we hold up pretty well in combat. We're not the fastest, but we are maneuverable. We have a short-range point defense laser, but that's best for incoming attackers. The main weapon is a long-range homing missile. The best tactic is to keep the enemy at bay and pound. When hyperspace travel stopped working throughout the galaxy. Ironically, the catastrophe happened not long after you beat the Urquan by destroying their ability to make war. When you destroyed their horrific precursor battleship, the Sumatra, we were safe in the galaxy. Before the loss of hyperspace, you had returned to the precursor planet Unzervault, where you were born. You were lucky to have been born there. Earth was suffering under the tender mercies of the Urquan at the time. Your parents didn't know it at the time, but being part of a crew that crash-landed on Unzervault was the best thing they could have done for you. You grew up among abundant precursor artifacts and developed You built a precursor ship, and the rest is history. You kicked Urquan butt all over the quadrant. Because you sacrificed your precursor vessel to stop the Sumatra, you returned to Unzervault to try to build a second one. You were stranded there when hyperspace travel collapsed. You were stranded on the primitive world of Unzervault for a second. All the allied races were sure they were stranded forever. We cursed our You had not only been able to build a new precursor vessel, but you found a way to circumvent the collapse of hyperspace. Your new vessel did not rely on hyperspace, but used a hot new Most people had never even seen a precursor vessel. You had piloted. You rallied the allied races to work together to seek the cause of the destruction. You even enlisted the repentant member. You described a strange experience you had after you destroyed the Sumatra, in which you traveled through a rift. Candidly, many sentients thought that your vision was the product of delusions. After all, you were comatose when we finally picked up your escape pod. But you had the only means of interstellar transport, and the sentient races would have accepted a lot more eccentricity. Sure thing. You explain to all. Since the mysterious rainbow worlds point coreward, and since many precursor artifacts seem to lie in that direction, we came to the galactic core. Now, all you have to do is find each race. We need to pick up stocks of cryogenically suspended colonists from each League race and establish the colonists are in suspended animation, ready to be thawed out as we gain the resources to properly put them to work colonizing and searching for precursor lore. All of us pledge to be loyal to the League and to give our lives if necessary. Talk to you soon, Captain.
DAC-TAC LACPAC 5576 squared. DAC-TAC LACPAC 888. Warning. Utilization. DAC-TAC LACPAC 5. Inversion 982 torque.